My name's Thom Glunt, and I'm the director of Strafe.
So what's Strafe all about?
Strafe is a throwback to the mid-90s shooters. It's about speed, it's about gore, and it's about secrets. So every time you play, it procedurally generates, everything's randomized, and we're trying to make a game that's endlessly replayable.
So when it comes to those kinds of games, guns are important. Talk a little about how much variety there is in that department.
Okay, so Strafe, we have 4 zones, which are drastically different than each other, and 4 levels to each zone. When you start the game, you choose between a shotgun, a machine gun, and a railgun, which kind of give you 3 different play styles in how far you can shoot accurately. And throughout the game, you're just upgrading that weapon, you're finding new ones, and it's just about frantic action and upgrading your character to survive.
Talk a little about the storyline, what's going on in here, who you're shooting at.
Strafe is actually being a throwback to old shooters. John Carmack, one of the founders of id, who made Doom, who made Quake, he has this beautiful quote that said, "Storyline in games is like storyline in porno. It's expected to be there, but it's not important." Now, clearly that's changed in time, but for us, making an old school throwback, you want to make sure that we kind of subscribe to that. So when you start the game up, you jump straight into it, no load screen, no story, and there's none throughout the game. It's told through the environment, it's told through how you play and like who you're killing, who you run into, the setting, and you get all the premise through the tutorial of the game, which is half live action and half gameplay.
When it comes to platforms, what do you guys, I see you got the old school discs over there, but what platforms are you shooting for?
We're aiming for PC, Mac, and Linux. It will be available via Steam, and it'll be releasing in early 2017.
So those are the original shareware model. Are you guys going to have a free demo as well for this type of game?
We're figuring it out at how much we want to give to people and let them try before buying it, but we really like the idea of giving away some sort of shareware and letting people play with the game early.
Even though this game looks really old school, can you talk about the technology and how you guys are using current day game engines to bring this to life?
So with Strafe, we have the low poly aesthetic. We have that real crunchy, like low res textures on everything. But there is a crazy amount of physics simulation throughout the game. Another thing we have is persistent gore in the game. So since the levels are procedurally generated, you never know where you can go. You can't memorize your path through each zone. So when you kill enemies, blood everywhere. It drips down ceilings. It's drips down walls, drips off ceilings, and that stuff's persistent. It's there forever. That we couldn't do that in the past because of just limitations in computing. So the persistent elements are completely modern. The physics elements are completely modern. We have all the lights are dynamic. So you might go into a level and the lights will all you can shoot out lights. They might just power down, giving you dark areas to play through. The procedural elements is something that wasn't done in the past for mostly those limitations too, outside of very early rogue style games, roguelikes, where it's text-based or the like. So, yeah.
Why did you guys decide to go retro with this?
We have an extreme love for it. About early 2014, we were playing through the first Quake again, and we love the feel of it. It was something where this is great, but we still remember all the levels. We remember where the enemies are, even after returning to it years later. So it created a hunger for that style of gameplay with that freshness, with something where we couldn't predict it, where you didn't know when a monster closet was going to drop or when an enemy would turn a corner. So with the love of Quake and with the love of games like Spelunky, like current roguelikes, we thought, why not combine the two and actually have a really fun experience and just make it as endlessly replayable as possible.